Initiating podcast download. Prepare yourself. Put on your spandex. Lace up your boots. Wrap your wrists. Hide your razor blade. Head to gorilla position. Grease up your hair. Apply baby oil. Okay, apply more baby oil. Get into gimmick. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Have fun and be safe out there, brother. Welcome to Iron on Wrestling. Now your host, Gregory Iron.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron. I'm your host, Gregory Iron. This is episode 249. I'm feeling fine. And what?
Pardon the interruption.
What? No.
Why do you got to rhyme the same shit with the same shit all the time?
Because that's what I do.
249. I'm so fine. Why don't you come up with something else?
I said I'm feeling fine.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not so egotistical.
Why don't you go? I'm on my grind. Or
I'm in a bind.
My favorite flavor of Pepsi is lime. I don't know anything other than the same thing over and over. I'm ready to lose my mind. I'm going to walk out on the show right now.
Oh, I didn't know.
I didn't know that I like rhyming the same words every week. I hate your guts.
I'm not a poet.
Yeah.
Or maybe I am and I don't know it. Okay.
You've used that before,
All
you
right.
dick-headed bastard.
I know I have. I know I have, you son of a bitch.
Hate your guts.
Yeah, you do.
Man, this is going to be a good show today, though.
I think so.
I've been looking forward to it. We're rebooking John Cena.
We're not rebooking. We're booking.
Yeah.
We're booking John
We're in
Cena.
charge of it.
He's saying bye-bye.
Hold on. I just got a message on my phone.
Okay.
Yep. We are in charge of the John Cena retirement tour.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what Hunter
it says
said?
here. Who?
Hunter?
Oh.
Hurst Helmsley?
No, this is from Eric.
Oh, okay. Well, he has no power in WWE, so...
But he's got two cool-ass dogs, right? So good for him on that one.
I've never met them. They
No.
seem like they're cool dogs.
They're always in his pictures, more than I see a picture of his girlfriend. I think he has one now.
That's what I hear.
I've been reading.
Heard it through the grapevine. Honey.
Wow. And then, also, we want to talk about our 4th of July. I know you had an explosive one.
Boy, it was out of control.
That diarrhea?
No. I didn't
Explosive
I didn't have diarrhea, however, I mean, I do poop frequently.
Oh,
I probably
congratulations.
would say that I have about 3 to 4 poops a day sometimes.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Why? Is that healthy? Is it okay to do that? Are you not getting it all out on the first try?
Maybe not. I don't know. But they're all coming out solid. So
Are you?
Not salad. Solid. They're not salad poops. They're solid, I would say.
Yeah, but if they were,
Yeah.
you could market the shit out of that. No pun intended.
Yeah. Boy, it was crazy. I went to a buddy's cookout for a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And
What'd you eat there? Because I know at cookouts, a lot of times there's meat, so that's good for us.
So here's the thing. I had four burgers.
Yeah.
But 2 of the burgers I had with just lettuce. I wrapped them in lettuce and some tomatoes, and then a couple
real
hours
gross.
later,
Real gross.
they were fine. And then a couple hours later, I had 2 burgers on 1 bun. So I double stacked it.
Yeah,
and,
you could do that.
So
Yeah.
I spread it out over a couple hours, so I got some protein out of it. Because it's like they also made chicken breast, and when I took the burgers, they're like, "We thought for sure you're going to eat the chicken breast," and I'm like, "It's the 4th of July. I eat chicken breast every day of my goddamn life. I want a fucking hamburger."
Guess
right?
what I made?
What'd you make?
Chicken breast.
Okay, well,
Good thing you weren't here.
It's okay. It's okay, but 4th of July was fine. I started the day by waking my girlfriend up before I
Ooh, how'd
left
you wake her up?
for the day to go do some cardio and
I bet you did
weightlifting.
some cardio when you woke her
I
up, huh?
did not, but I did whisper in her ear before I left. I said, "Goodbye. Remember, my mom died today. Have a great day." And she's like, "Okay, why do you have to say that?" I'm like, well, I mean, it's just a factual statement.
And it was a great day for you, right?
Yes, yeah. Good day to die. Wow.
It's so weird how we love that our moms are dead.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have not dealt with that kind of trauma.
Sure.
So
Though,
here we are.
I do think...
And we found each other, and that's the most important thing.
We did find each other through our dead moms, for sure. We definitely bonded in that regard.
I bet they had no idea.
However, someone did say something recently, and I do try to take it more into consideration after hearing this. They're like, if your mom is like, she can somehow hear the things you say and everything, she probably like feels bad all the time and is like very sorry, and she probably didn't mean to do all the terrible things she did. I'm like, yeah, I guess like.
But
maybe,
then she also has to understand, just like mine does.
Sure.
That you did this. Maybe it wasn't, your intention to fuck me up, but you have fucked me up to the point where I joke about your death and I prayed for it.
Yeah.
And I held your hand until I was sure you were dead and told you it's okay. Go towards that light.
Oh,
Just
boy.
go.
Yep.
We're good.
Don't
Just
come
go.
back. We are going to talk about... there's no good transition out of that, but we're going to talk about...
nutrition?
A little bit of nutrition, because I was talking to you a little bit beforehand about some things I didn't realize you were incorporating into your life, besides TNT Health, which we'll talk about as well. But I want to talk about MJF's heels turn. This week I'm celebrating...
Oh, fuck. We got to talk about wrestling?
Yeah, we got to talk about wrestling.
Okay.
I'm celebrating 18 years as a wrestler this week.
You're an adult now.
There are new tag team champions apparently in the WWE. I don't know if you heard about this. There's a new,
one's a good friend of mine.
There's a new NXT champion. Yeah,
He's a good friend of mine. I don't know if you know these guys.
Juan Ortiz. Or he's
a good buddy.
I'm sorry.
You
I got
dickhead.
confused. We will do some extra stuff for the Patreon, which will include a full review of Money in the Bank. We'll probably do a full review of the NXT show over on Patreon. And we have a couple bonus podcast subjects that we're going to be talking about over there, including hottest guys and gals in professional wrestling.
Yeah,
that we're going to talk about over on Patreon. So we'll see how the
Hey,
cookie
I had
crumbles with
sexual
all that.
intercourse.
For the first time? Or
It felt like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time.
When was this? Around the July 4th?
Yep.
A little bit of fireworks in the bedroom, huh?
Yep.
Would you say they were Roman candles or perhaps some sparklers? There had to be a little bit of a snake involved, right?
There's some dippity-doos.
Okay.
And the bang snaps.
Okay.
Those things you throw on the ground.
I like the bang snaps, yes.
Yeah, and a smoke bomb.
However, bang snaps seem like there would be a hospital visit after that if it involves like an innuendo with sexual intercourse.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, thankfully no one else was there.
Oh,
but
okay. Well, all right. Well, do I even want to ask, or should we just move on?
Ask what?
Okay, that sounds about right. But yeah, we're going to do some.
I was
extra
flying
stuff.
solo that day.
Okay, we're solo Sequoia.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/Iron Wrestling, where you get a buttload of bonus content, including all of the bonus episodes in the archives, all the extended episodes, hundreds and hundreds of episodes that we've been doing since 2019. So 5 years worth.
Almost as long as you've been in wrestling.
Well, no.
We were celebrating your 13th year anniversary then.
Wow, that is true. Jesus Christ. $3 gets you in the door with the audio. $5 gets you a bonus video. $9 you get to pick bonus podcast subject. You get priority on questions, and you get involved with the Zoom chat. I know I said last week I was going to do it, but Greg Iron's got a busy life sometimes, and I might have to try to fit that in this week. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, but we do a Zoom chat where we talk about things. We do a Zoom chat where we talk about things that we won't talk about on any of the bonus episodes. Yeah, you get some good stuff in the bonus episodes, but you get even more stuff when you talk to me directly.
And just think, we just let off the show talking about our dead mothers and the enjoyment that we get out of that.
Yes.
So what do you think we're going to talk about on Patreon? You better pay your $69 goddamn dollars, you son of a bitch.
Who knows? But yeah, you get some packages in the mail for $25 and up, and it's free to check out the tiers over at patreon.com/Iron Wrestling. And if you don't want to subscribe to the Patreon, you could subscribe to iTunes, Spotify, wherever you download podcasts for free. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, where we're trying to grow the YouTube over there and post exclusive content every now and then. And make sure you leave a comment on any of the social medias. Follow us on Iron on Wrestling, and
if you don't know the protocol by now, you got to get with it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a like, a subscribe, a comment.
If you care about us, you will do the things necessary to help create.
Yeah, don't be like our moms.
Podcast. Yeah, who just abandoned us and stole our things.
You're better than that.
All right. So before we talk about actual wrestling,
yes,
you invited me earlier
Mm-hmm.
to before we started the show to go on a walk with you,
Yes.
and there may or may not have been an offer of hand holding involved with that.
There was definitely an offer of hand holding.
Okay.
You
Did you
could
want to
hold
talk
my
about this?
hand, and I'll only hold one of your hands.
Did you want to
The
talk
other one
about
is
this, or
weird.
did you want to just continue to play Pokemon Go on
Yeah.
your phone?
Go ahead. We're talking.
Yeah.
I have to keep hitting this while we're doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, ADHD.
Uh-huh.
Oh, are you going to cancel yourself against all of us out there with ADHD?
I'm not. No.
Okay.
No. But yeah, you've
Yeah.
been going on a lot of walks as part of your
Yep.
fitness journey.
Yeah. I'm doing. I'd like to do roughly 35 minutes after work on a daily. I go to the beach, walk there, or there's a nice trail that they just put in maybe year ago,
Okay.
around my house
Yeah.
and neighborhood. It's like top of the line, actually. It goes through. It's got a road and everything.
Oh wow.
It's paved and
Ooh, cutting edge.
yeah. So it's a good deal, man.
Yeah.
But I've really started to enjoy the walks, and I have tons of great walking shoes. Plus, with my knee and that kind of stuff, I have to keep up on these legs.
Yeah.
So it's all good for me. I love the walk. I like the feeling I get during and after. You're into walking, I understand.
Well, so it's I can't believe this thing we really haven't talked about. Like past 6 months, I've just been doing walking. I don't do elliptical stuff. I mean I'll do the stair climber every now and then, but like I haven't been doing any super high intense cardio, and it sounds very old manish of me. Like I always just imagine the mall walkers, like
Yep.
the 80-year-old people walking
I
around.
always
the mall.
feel like, yeah.
And but honestly, I don't know if there's anything better than just getting your steps in. And I try to average like 10 to 12,000 steps a day, which I've gotten pretty consistently over
Do you
the
get that at
last-
work alone?
At work, like on my breaks, so I got like an extra hour
Yeah.
basically that I'm just walking. Because like usually I'll just go sit in my car because I don't want to talk to people.
Mhm.
And then like since it started getting warmer in the spring, I was like, I'll just walk around the building and shit and like
Yeah.
listen to whatever I was going to listen to on my phone instead of just sitting in my car. And that way I don't got to do the cardio on my own time. And
Yeah.
so like by the time 3:00 rolls around, I've already gotten all my steps and then some in. Like today, as we're recording, it's 6:30, and I'm way above my goal for the day. I have like 16,000 steps.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel better. I still feel decent in the ring just from doing walking.
You
So
still wrestle?
I still wrestle. Yeah.
When?
I got shows coming up in the next couple weeks.
Are you doing a mega baddies show?
I will be there. Yeah.
Are you going to be one of the baddies?
No, I'm gonna be a beast, I guess.
Oh.
I'm a man.
Oh.
So
Rhino.
So I will be wrestling there July 20th, and I'm driving right to Chicago later that night for I'm doing a double shot, and then
What promotion in Chicago?
it's yet to be announced, so I probably shouldn't talk about that any more in depth.
Okay.
But and then I'm doing I guess Mega's running one or two more shows that week.
Yeah,
so I'll be
they're-
wrestling in the Northeast Ohio area, and then I'm in Detroit the following Saturday for a place called Flophouse Wrestling.
Never heard of that.
It's a thing that's happening, and so I'm trying to stay active. Oh, I got some stuff coming up for Ruthless Pro Wrestling.
Ruthless, what's that? Is that
or
Ricky?
I'm sorry, Ruthless Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, RCW.
Yeah, RCW, and so I'll be doing something from them, and I got some other stuff in the
Oh,
calendar.
I saw
old
your
wrestling.
match announcement or your talent announcement.
I
for
was
them.
announced as a talent, yes.
Yeah, I saw Alice Crawley maybe was announced also.
Last I heard, that might be the match that was happening. That was supposed to happen last month, but I was a little bit beat up,
Uh-huh.
a little bit more hurt than I expected. So we had to cancel that. I wasn't going to follow through with that while I was hurt, but yeah, I still wrestle. 18 years of this bullshit. Still wrestling.
Yeah, well, I think your big opportunity is right around the corner.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, we'll see about that. But why are we even on this subject? Wrestling, walking? I don't know.
You want to talk about the fitness, and then I text you. Do you want to go on a walk with me and hold hands?
So like what I'm saying is there, like, again, if some of you listening to this are still on the fence and like figuring out what to do to walk or what to do to start your fitness journey, like I would say walking is a great thing to do. Like, it
Hey,
sounds
and a great
stupid.
app is Pokemon, because you get rewarded for walking, for actually getting out and walking. So that helps me a lot of times. if my goal for the day is 16,000 steps, I'll usually get between 13 and 15 at work. But then I have to do that extra half hour when I get out of work, and Pokemon rewards me with whatever. They give me a free little Poke guy or something.
I want to point out, before we started recording today, when I asked you how many steps do you get in a day, you told me, you tried to tell me that you get 50 to 60,000 steps in a day. And I said, that is not possible. So I said to you, it takes like 15 minutes to get 1,500 steps.
Yeah.
So how are you getting 50 to 60,000?
Yeah, no, I was playing with you. But the 13,000 is a regular just at work. I walk a lot. And I was telling you things that I've done to up my steps at work is if I'm stocking things, I just grab one item at a time. Yeah. And then I go and I unload that item and I come back. And so it benefits me in a couple ways. In one way, it always looks like I'm doing something.
Now, when you're doing this walking, are you also, before you're doing this, are you utilizing your TNT Health supplements?
I always am utilizing my TNT Health supplements.
And what are you taking right now?
Right now, I am currently taking the.
Are you okay there? What do you? Hold on. Oh, okay. He's looking at it. He can't remember the name.
Yeah, the Ace 262.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's been my real ace in the hole.
Okay.
Much like you act like an ace-hole.
Really.
So I love this AC 262. It's been being completely honest, worst tasting shit I've ever had in my life.
No, okay.
Maybe worse than raw broccoli.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but I like the results I'm getting out of it. I can see a little more definition right already. And this is the second week.
Yeah.
No, this is the third week. But I see the definition starting back over and some vascularity, and my legs have been on pump lately, and that's got to be because of the walking and the squats that I do. I do a lot of squats. You squat a lot? Just on the toilet with the explosive diarrhea?
No, I mean, I do some body weight squats, and I just keep it simple with, I usually don't go more than 25 pounds. I'll hold a 25-pound plate just because I don't want to hurt my back. And also,
well, you should always lift with your back.
No,
I think a lot of people don't know that. No,
don't listen to Aaron. Listen to Mike and the people at TNT Health, or listen to me. I'm a pretty logical guy, but when I squat, my right heel kind of goes up. So my squats aren't exactly perfect, but I still do what I can. But I'm not doing any of this without using my creatine before I work out from TNT Health, 5 milligrams a day, one little scoop. And it helps my pump, and then I use my glutamine after, which has really been helping me with my recovery. There was one day this past week where I forgot to take my glutamine, and I felt it the next day, especially because I had a hard chest workout. Me and my brother were working out in our gym, and it's nice when you have a buddy.
Gym with Alyssa Milano's picture in it?
The picture is not currently hanging up, but it will be.
Where is it?
I'm not sure.
In the bathroom?
It's not going to be. No. Okay. The gym doesn't have a bathroom. But it will not be hanging in the bathroom. It'll be hanging on the wall with other people. Yeah. Like, my Freddy Krueger workout poster and my Hulk Hogan workout poster, which I don't crank one out to. So.
Or haven't recently.
I'm not going to. Anyways, if I were going to crank one out, I would use some of my supplements before from TNT-health.com. And listen, much like Patreon, it's free to look at TNT Health and their website. And if you decide to invest in anything from TNT Health, this will sell you a little bit more. You're getting results. That's what Mike and TNT-health.com wants for you, results. And you don't have to be perfect. It's only 70 to 80% of the results because, you're going to screw up sometimes. You're going to slip up. You're going to want to have a cheat meal or a day off. And Mike is totally behind that. It's about making progress. And as long as you keep moving forward, it's okay if you stop every now and then along the way. It's free to look. If you get invested in 2 supplements, maybe you'll come back and we can get you some more supplements from TNT Health. But they don't want to get you on a package where you spend $300 to $500 a month like some places like GNC. He just wants you to get the things you need. So what are you waiting for? Go to TNT-health.com. Check out all the good stuff they have over there. If you're going to buy anything, use our promo code IRONON. That's IRONON, IRONON. And it'll save you 10% on everything that you buy. Do it now. TNT-health.com, because it's about your health today, not tomorrow.
I want to add this real quick. I've gone to other supplement companies, and I can tell you that you can trust what we're saying on this, on Mike and TNT Health, because I've gotten what I call bunk shit from other places.
Yeah.
You know, there's other companies out there. It seems like they keep springing up with the same product.
Yeah.
But I can't trust them because I've gotten bad product from other companies before. It's 100% quality assurance with Mike and the folks at TNT Health every time.
Well, had you been more of a wrestling historian,
Mm-hmm.
you would have already known of Stone Cold Steve Austin's famous catchphrase, "Don't trust anybody except for Mike at TNT-health.com," which was
What?
on the back of that shirt with the rattlesnake on the
Yeah,
front.
yeah, I remember
Do you
that.
remember that? It had that whole saying.
It wasn't the one with him with his arms up, and the arms were both rattlesnakes, were they?
No. That one said,
Or those were cobras, maybe.
Jesus. Yeah. Oh, God, I can't remember what it said on the back because I can't.
Do you remember the
Damn it.
one that it spelled out something on the back and it was misspelled? I can't remember. It was like kicking ass every day or something and whooping ass.
He's got the one that I have, that one of my favorites that he wore when he was arrested after doing the Zamboni.
Yeah.
It says bad to the, or that's the one on the back. It says
Okay.
bad to the bones, but it's spelled B-O-N-Z.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it says
that.
bad to the bonds.
Yeah. But they probably couldn't get the trademark for Bones, B-O-N-E-S.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what
Hard
it was.
times. You know that trademark for bones. It's hard.
Speaking of hard,
Yeah.
if you were to get a design by anyone in the world, where would you go? Because I got a guy for you. He's a good buddy of mine. His name's Juan of the Ortiz.
Well, actually, recently I did contact Juan Ortiz about a design.
Yeah.
And of the Dead Designs. And
I did too. I was going to wait and surprise you, but
you know what? He told me he was backed up,
Yeah.
and it might take him a month. And I told him it was no rush. I didn't need it until the end of July. This man got it done in 6 days. And I couldn't have been happier with the results. I'm not going to spoil what I got done because it's a gift for someone. But once the gift is delivered, I will show everyone. And I think you're really going to like it. But yeah, I love going to Juan Ortiz and of the Dead Designs. And actually, you know what? He just added another accolade to his resume.
which one, Farouk or Bradshaw?
No, that's Acolyte.
My
But
bad.
we've talked about how he's done merchandise for every major world champion in professional wrestling. Well, now you can add NXT world champion to that because he has done designs for Ethan Page as well. And, of course, his stuff has been in Hot Topic, and his prices are affordable. You don't have to be a major wrestling superstar to be able to get a hot design from Juan Ortiz. And, even better, if you mention Iron on Wrestling to Juan Ortiz and of the Dead Designs, you're going to save $20 on your first design. It's pretty cool.
Man, I'm just thinking right now of all the designs I want.
You know what?
to
I don't
ask.
need to know what you
I've
would
got it.
get. No,
Since you asked,
I didn't ask.
there's... Okay,
Oh, fuck.
we were talking about the accolades. So it's Farouk and Bradshaw.
Acolytes.
And, well, they're in heaven.
Are they always pounding ass on a cloud?
They are APA.
Wow. Okay.
And
Is
they're playing
Bradshaw,
cards.
Hold on. Bradshaw's behind Farouk, and Farouk is
You're
like,
crazy.
His eyes
You're
are closed, and he's
crazy.
yelling, "Damn!" Right?
No. Farouk would be the pounder,
Okay.
in my vision. But really, they're just showering in this one.
Mm.
You know, because Bradshaw used to shower all the young guys, all the young boys.
That's true.
That's what we hear. So they're showering each other with gifts.
Yes.
And they're on, obviously they're on a cloud because they're in heaven. But a second cloud rolls in.
Oh shit.
It's going to be a stormy day.
Okay.
And there it is, Alyssa Milano.
Okay, so if you want to get any piece of merch done, a logo for your company or anything like that, contact Juan Ortiz and of the Dead Designs right now. Follow them and message them on Instagram at of the Dead Designs. Go to facebook.com/of the Dead Designs or their website ofthedead.weebly.com because Of the Dead Designs is bringing artwork to life. Let's roll through some stuff real quick here.
Yeah.
A topic that I wanted to kind of expand upon right now. I haven't been watching a lot of AEW, but I did notice that MJF turned heel this past week. He, after a match with Will Ospreay and Daniel Garcia, while MJF was in the corner of Daniel Garcia, after last week saying that he could potentially see himself wrestling him at All In after Danny lost to Ospreay, MJF came in the ring and kicked Garcia in the dick. This past Saturday on Collision, we got an explanation for that dick kick. MJF came out in a 10-minute segment where he alluded to a promo from, I believe, back in August, where he talked about having ADHD and that having ADHD leads to a plethora of other things that are wrong with him, and he also has a disorder where he has an inability to trust people. I forget what he referred to it as.
Something about acceptance rejection disorder.
Yes, and what I came to the conclusion of, it was a long walk to explain why he turned heel. I love Max.
Yeah.
But boy, does this heel turn feel unorganic, and I feel like maybe the mindset is that there are too many top baby faces right now, but I feel like of all the people to turn heel right now, I don't know if Max is like the viable choice because no one wants to hate him, and if you're going to turn on someone, in your promo, you said that Samoa Joe was the reason why you're upset because people were saying thank you, Joe, after you got injured. So why the fuck did you come back for 2 weeks and you're like, nice guy, blah, 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 and then you just randomly kick Garcia in the dick? And here's my thing. Here's the biggest thing that I'm thinking about. Who's the mark here? Because you got a tattoo on your ankle with the company logo.
Big heat would be if he gets that covered up this week and shows it.
He probably should, but also, like, again, that's a long walk to get a logo on yourself just to then get it covered up. What do you think of this?
And here's what I know. Bottom line, heel MJF better than babyface MJF.
Sure.
Okay. And then, so I guess I'm glad about that. But it made sense to me that when MJF came back and he kicked Adam Cole in the dick and gave him the brainbuster.
Yeah.
He said, the real Max is back. No more trusting people. No more being friends with anyone. No more letting people in. And I thought, here he is in the corner of this Daniel Garcia. And, oh, God, he's turning heel. And I went, no way. It's way too quick for that to happen.
Yeah.
He just had that big feud with Hechicero. So what? Oh, yeah, right. That was just throwaway.
Yeah,
and
just a match.
So all these guys that wronged him when he was a babyface, he got no problem with any of them.
I guess.
And yeah, here's the other thing. I cannot say I didn't like when they did this with Randy Orton and his IDD or whatever that shit was. IED.
Yeah.
Intermittent explosive disorder,
Yeah.
which I thought was fake until one of my sons got diagnosed with
It's a real
it.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
But, yeah, it was, I don't know. I don't like the explanation for something being, well, because I have this, what do you call it? Not a disease, but
disorder.
A disorder, yeah.
But also, like, okay, if that was the reasoning, then the clip that they played was like 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
You could have played 30 seconds of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know. MJ, I expect better out of Max, and it's like, not that his promo was bad. It's just like the explanation is weak.
Yeah.
Again, if I want to dislike Max, I can't because, like, I don't care about Garcia. There was no reason for him to turn on Garcia like that.
Yeah.
It's all like kind of
Like Garcia was the last one that would have wronged him.
for sure.
Like Swerve, you could have said.
He's got a gripe with Joe clearly, but he's using
And Joe's a babyface now.
and he's mad at Joe, so he kicks Garcia in the dick to seemingly get to Ospreay at Wembley, who doesn't have his belt, by the way. So, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's just like, it's like, this is what Tony wants, so now I got to try to make this make sense, but it doesn't.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I don't know, dude. It's very hard to follow the stories that are in AEW or lack thereof stories.
Well, we talked about in the extended version of the podcast, I think it was last week when we reviewed Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm.
Ospreay, in the match, one of the things that I thought they were going to hold off on was him not doing the Tiger Driver.
Oh,
and
yeah.
If you recalled, we talked about in the match how at one point, just for no reason, he just gets excited and yells, Tiger Driver, and goes for it, and then it gets countered by Swerve. This past week on Dynamite, there was a backstage thing where Ospreay talks to Don Callis and says, he didn't want to do the Tiger Driver.
Yeah.
Bitch, you definitely
lie.
looked like you wanted to do the Tiger Driver. But, that's the story isn't he's a liar. I think the story is hopefully people don't remember that
He's just rewriting history.
Yes.
And was it a screw-up that he got excited for that?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
No, because if anything, it was like he rejected the screwdriver.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't the Tiger Driver. It was the screwdriver that he rejected.
I don't know, man. A lot of weird stuff going on, dude.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff. You know what else is weird?
What's
I'll
that?
tell you this real quick. You ever at work and you go pee and you're standing at the urinal?
Are we advertising something that I don't know about?
I got something I got to get off my chest here.
All right.
And your coworker comes in. Now, there's multiple bathrooms in this facility for developmentally disabled people that you work with. This is just a hypothetical, by the way.
Okay.
But there's many bathrooms.
Yep.
And there's also many other toilets that could be used, except for the one directly next to me. So this dude comes in, and this isn't the first time, and he got to stand right next to me and strike up a conversation while peeing.
Yeah. Yep.
What's the deal on that?
Just trying to make friends. Or maybe he wants to be closer than friends.
I don't know, and I don't like it. So finally, I'm just like, dude, weak stream you got there.
He said that to you?
I said that to him.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want this fucker near me anymore.
So you are making it weirder. So
Yeah.
so you thought the right course of action was the guy who picked specifically to stand next to you. You think by letting him know that you are looking at his dick.
No, I'm not looking at it. You can hear it. I told him just by the sound.
Okay. So you think that making this type of conversation next to the guy who could have picked any urinal in the bathroom but picked the one next to you, you think that by acknowledging that you have any idea about what he's doing, what his pee sounds like, what his pee may look like.
I told him he needed to go get it checked out.
What if he would have looked at you like, can you check it out for me right now? And just turned your way? And what would you have done?
Would not have surprised me. But I would have been mad because then he would have peed on my shoe probably. But it wouldn't have got actually to my shoe because he had a weak stream.
Yeah, gotcha.
I told him he needed to go get his prostate examined.
Again, what if he would have just bent over and been like, well, you're right here.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen.
Okay.
So. Yeah, I never got that. Same thing like when you go to a movie, go to watch a movie. You're the only one in that row of the theater, and somebody comes in and sits directly in your row or right behind you or right in front of you.
That's uncomfortable. I mean, I even hate when, I pray when I'm sitting somewhere and there's a seat open next to me and it's a whole sold out facility, and I'm just like, please let this be the only seat that doesn't get filled because I don't want to sit next to someone I don't know.
Remember at the celebrity softball game?
Yes, I do.
There was an old man sitting next to you, a very, very old man.
Yes.
Very nice. I mean, I'm sure if he was, a grandfatherly figure to us, that would have been great. But
sure.
He's just an old-ass man sitting next to Greg and talking and talking and talking.
That's my son.
And I'm like,
okay, cool,
thank God I didn't sit next to this guy.
Yep.
Well, then, this guy then gets up because two 20-something-year-old Instagram models come over.
Yeah.
And they're like, sir, excuse us, we think you're in our seats.
Yep.
Oh, I just went and sat anywhere. Okay. So he gets up and walks out.
Yep.
Now Greg is sitting next to two of the hottest Instagram models I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting kicked because next to me now there has arrived a family with a little girl who is, probably 6 or 5. Mm-hmm. And all she does is just kick and kick and kick. And she keeps hitting me. And Well, anyway, I'm ready to move on now. Let's talk
It's
about
unfortunate.
wrestling.
Unfortunate scenario. Your son.
What's that? I said I'm ready to move on.
Let's talk about. You said let's talk about my son. What did you
might
say?
have said wrestling or something. I don't know.
What? I'm gonna go back and play this.
Yeah,
To make
okay,
sure.
you
What
could be
the
wrong as usual.
Fuck did you just say? Anyways, we didn't talk about last week. Ronda Rousey
Yeah.
is doing a Kickstarter for a comic.
Uh-huh.
Now, I briefly showed you the photo
Yes.
last week of what appears to be Ronda,
Yeah.
Paul Heyman, Triple H, and The Miz on a comic book where she looks like she has kind of a gut.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And apparently, quick synopsis of what I read is Ronda Rousey's new comic book has characters based on Triple H, Paul Heyman, and The Miz. A press statement was released announcing Ronda Rousey's newest project as the former WWE and UFC star takes to the media of graphic fiction for expecting the unexpected, name of the comic. Apparently, in this, she is a pregnant action hero and is somehow incorporating Triple H, Paul Heyman, and The Miz.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know why she needs a Kickstarter from this. Like, if this is something she wants to get off the ground, I'm pretty sure she can afford to do it. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't understand it at all, but I haven't talked to her in a while. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't understand the mindset behind it in general.
I don't know.
It seems like she
if
hates
you're a
wrestling.
superhero
Yeah.
and you're going to fight crime, but you're pregnant, that might not be the time to fight crime. But maybe that is like she's pregnant with a robot baby or something, so it can't be harmed.
Robot baby.
You got to expect the unexpected, like the title says.
Pretty unexpected, actually.
Yeah. Oh, like people go up to her and they're like, "Oh, are you expecting?"
Mm.
And she's like, "Yeah, the unexpected."
Oh, boy. And then it's a robot that comes out.
Well,
yeah.
it doesn't go. It goes,
Yeah.
My name is Robot Baby.
Robot baby.
Me, Robot Baby. Me, Baby Gwig.
How did this robot baby get implanted in her that it had to come out?
Well, my guess would be
It's a robot that grows?
UFO touchdown in Cleveland
Okay.
on September 9th, 2016.
Why that day?
Because that's when she was in Cleveland.
Not related to anything, but did you know
Yes.
that part of the video for Roland was done on top of the World Trade Center? And this is just a random fact that I saw a couple days ago, and I found it very eerie.
Uh-huh.
It won an MTV Music Award in 2001. On September 10th,
Wow.
Fred Durst
Mm-hmm.
got a fruit basket and a thank you letter from the people at the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
September 10th, 2001. The next
Right.
day, I don't know if you know this, on September 11th, 2001, there was a tragedy. Well, I'm not, you could look it up, but
Uh-huh.
I just found it incredibly interesting that the day before, probably one of the last interactions between the folks at the World Trade Center and anybody was with the band Limp Bizkit.
They had to have been on their way to hell.
Who?
They had to be on their way to hell
Who are you
after they
talking
got
about?
blown up.
Wow.
I mean, if you know, that's how you're friends with Limp Bizkit. You're nice with Limp Bizkit.
Well, they
then
got a lot
that
of-
doesn't mean anything good.
They got a lot of positive attention after
They
the
had
video
a
for
song
Roland.
so they had an album called "The Chocolate Starfish and a Hot Dog Water."
Hot dog flavored water.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Oh. I did like Roland though. Did you?
Did you like it more or less than American Badass?
Oh. I think I liked American Badass the song better,
Mhm.
but I think I liked Undertaker coming out to Roland better.
Okay.
What did you like? Or do you like the Death March?
I mean, if I'm just talking American Badass Undertaker, I'm going to go with American Badass.
Yeah.
You know, it just works.
Yeah.
Too short-lived. They only rented that for like 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then what was the song?
Roland,
Oh.
as we just explained.
I thought Roland was first.
Second. Used
Oh.
it for the first time in Armageddon 2000. Sad that I know that right,
nerd.
right off the top of my head.
I've been in wrestling 18 years coming up. Here's my knowledge.
Yep,
I
yep.
know what song Undertaker came out to at the exact pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm real pathetic. Real pathetic. By the way, I've dated several women and had intercourse. Just want to make that perfectly clear.
Yeah, you're doing better than I am.
Yeah. Also, I know you didn't watch it, but
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know who out there listening has watched it. WrestleMania 40 documentary that's up on YouTube now as of last Wednesday. I wasn't blown away by it. It was an
Yeah,
hour
I didn't
long.
watch it because you told me you weren't blown away by it.
That's not true.
Plus, I've already, I read all of it.
Well, that's my thing. If you're going into it, if you haven't watched it, thinking like I'm going to learn something new. If you've been on the internet, you learned nothing from this documentary. And I mean, it was fine. Here's my thing. Usually when they put these documentaries up, like if they do a 24 on like a WrestleMania, they do it a year after. So so in theory, we should have got a documentary about WrestleMania 39 today, because now it's like it's new again. I just watched WrestleMania 40 fucking 3 months ago. So to me, it was just like
I'm
I've
still
already
kind of tired of WrestleMania 40.
I lived through it already.
You were there.
I was there.
What match did you wrestle? Mister, I've been in the business 18 years.
I was there to watch my friend wrestle
Oh.
on the show, which, by the way, my friend, Johnny Gargano, he is now one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions on SmackDown. And
Shout out to Tommaso.
Tommaso, yes. Tommaso and Johnny did it together.
Yeah.
DIY, they did it themselves. But that would be DIT.
Dit.
But I will say, so the last couple of weeks, I sort of felt like the story was going towards them winning the tag titles, but I didn't pry. I kind of wanted to be surprised. However, Friday morning, I get a text from Johnny, and he said, because I said, hey, are you main eventing the show tonight?
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know. And he said, yeah, probably should watch it live. And I said, well, fucking thanks for spoiling it, because why else would you fucking say that?
Yeah.
And I
Because
was
he
like-
didn't tell us to watch it live when they wrestled Truth and Miz.
Right. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, man. Like, thanks for spoiling. He's like, never know. And I'm just like, I do know. You
I know.
You just told me, you fucking idiot. Regardless, though, I thought the match was great, and
At least you didn't go ahead and start posting your pictures with Johnny all over Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, like all these other marks did.
I posted a picture, a painting of us the
that's
next day.
right.
Shut the fuck up.
That's embarrassing.
I'm allowed to post.
You're allowed to do whatever you want, but you've just been in this business 18 years, and well, he's there and you're here.
Wow.
But as I was saying, there was quite a few pictures of Johnny from his work in the Indies.
Yes.
Going around.
Yes. And I did get a bit misty-eyed when the 3 count went down.
There was no 3 count, you dickhead.
Well, there was no 3 count. You're correct. The submission, the double submission. And
Fucking sweet. What a good match. Probably the best match all weekend. I'm talking about there were two premium live events this weekend, too.
yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And you know what? My brother asked, he's like, man, that match was so good. Why wasn't it on the pay-per-view? And I was like, you know what? I like the way they're doing this to where, especially when it's, like, I think Money in the Bank has kind of become one of the big four now. Like, Survivor Series doesn't even count anymore.
Right.
And I like how when they run the same venue that they're going to do the pay-per-view in, they try to do, like, in theory, since Triple H has been running these 5-match shows, it's like, okay, what are, like, 1 or 2 matches that I would have put on the pay-per-view that I could just put on the SmackDown? And
And then make it seem...
it makes the SmackDown bigger. And
Plus, you're buying a ticket for that venue, but you weren't able to get into Money in the Bank because it was sold out.
yeah,
And you're not an NXT fan, so you're not really doing that. But you could get into whatever was on Friday because there's a pay-per-view quality match that's going down.
Yeah.
And, dude, I don't care. That was I don't want to do stars, but that was an excellent match.
yeah, it was really great. And they've been telling a good story with Austin Theory as well. And it seems
Yeah, he's going to be a likable guy.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's a good refresher for him because, like, his heel stuff was very tired.
Yep.
And listen, he's a good-looking dude, and he's got size to him. Like I said, look, when I had been on 1 or 2 shows with him in the Indies, and he was like a in shape guy. But last
Who
time
was
I
he
saw-
then? What was his name? Do you
Austin
remember?
Theory.
Oh,
Yeah, but I saw him backstage at WWE about a year ago. He's so fucking big now. So
Yeah.
it's like he looks the role, and I
Yeah.
think he just needs a refresher, right?
Uh-huh, for sure.
I think his babyface stuff when he was in the way, was it babyface or was
Nope.
he just kind of
No,
like
they
a
were
dummy?
heel.
Well, he was like the very likable dumb guy in my opinion.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
okay, I can see
So he's got range,
Mhm.
and I'd like to see him be like a good babyface, like
Yeah.
a good smart guy, and
Right.
I think Grayson Waller is not very likable at all.
Right.
I just
Bless you.
sneezed. And yeah, I'm looking forward to what's in the future. But congratulations to Gargano
Dude,
and
even
Ciampa.
if it's just for Austin Theory to turn babyface so he can figure out what is best for him to be a heel.
Yeah,
I think a lot of times Kurt Angle's heel run the second time as a heel after turning babyface was better than the initial,
yeah.
the introductory.
well, and again, like, and we've talked about it before, and it's something that I like to talk about in my seminars. It's like, sometimes there are elements of a character that you don't know how to bring out until you meet other characters or do other things with your particular character, and it builds layers to who you are. Like, I can't imagine the Kurt Angle that debuted in the WWF in '99 and 2000 having that aggressive side that he has in 2002. It took him to being like this stupid, horribly unlikable three eyes Kurt Angle that cries his way into winning the WWF Championship and then loses it, and then becomes a little bit more aggressive when he gets into a feud with The Rock and he's using the ankle lock.
He has
and
to
then,
be vicious, yes.
And so, like, and now he's having these matches with Chris Benoit. This helps, especially when he gets his head shaved. This creates another element to Kurt Angle. The character changes. He can add that layer of aggression. And once we get to 2002, especially the latter end of 2002, it's a lot more aggression. Ruthless aggression, if you will. And by 2003, he's got Team Angle and blah, blah, blah. And then, obviously TNA becomes Perk Angle. But the point is, this is going to add this is going to add a layer to who Austin Theory is, and so I like it. And
Yeah.
you know what? I can't wait to take a look at those tag titles in person. Honestly,
Oh,
because
yeah,
they're good looking belts.
They're my favorite belts since they've been redesigning belts since before the Winged Eagle, because
Yeah.
I thought the Winged Eagle was trash.
Well, I don't know what planet you live on, but that's the best belt of all time.
Well, I know what planet you want to visit, and that planet is Uranus. Wait, my anus. Wait,
okay.
next segment.
Yeah, let's just move on. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Ethan Page thing, or do you want to wait until
could
the
do that.
Patreon? Well, I didn't see
okay.
it. You did. So,
Yeah.
give me your quick thoughts without
Good.
spoiling everything. Good. Okay, that's right to the point here.
No, hey, I was texting Vic Joseph.
Yeah.
Just drop that name a little bit there. He called the entire pay-per-view. And we were texting during the paper. This is what I find funny. I got to mention this. During SmackDown, I text Johnny and said, congrats or whatever, for when the belts. I said, you earned it. And so this was as soon as their match ended.
Yeah.
And he texted me right back, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, because he probably got on his phone right after and was like looking at, like, what's Twitter saying? What's Twitter saying?
So then I text Vic during the show about having the censors ready during that show.
Yeah.
And Vic is texting me through the show.
Mhm.
How is it that when I text these guys, when it's a random Wednesday night,
Yeah.
I
Nothing.
can never get a text back?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like a Wednesday afternoon. It's like 2 p.m. on a Wednesday.
I don't know if we've ever shared this on the show, but there was one week I was hanging out with Gargano and
Yeah.
NXT was on, and it was me, Candace, Hannah. We're all hanging out, and he says, sometimes I text Vic during the show things to say,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he will work it in seamlessly, and so during a commercial break, Vic texts us and goes, "Text me anything to say, and I'll say it on the broadcast." And so we pick Hannah to pick a term, and she goes, "Work in submarine." And so then after he said that, I kind of had like a face, and I didn't say anything. But Vic must have been reading my mind because he texts back, "Well, there was just that submarine incident where those people died, so I feel like I can't mention anything about submarine, but try something else." And I forget the term they used. It was something like grapefruit or something.
Yeah.
And somehow during it was a match with Noam Dar and someone else. He ends up somehow fitting in Grapefruit, and we just started dying laughing because like it sounded so good if you didn't know that he was saying it, he was being told to say it.
Yeah.
But if you know that you gave him this word randomly and he just fit it in, I think that's a testament to how good Vic is.
Vic is great. I'm so glad I discovered him.
Yeah, you did. But you know what? I'm going to run to the restrooms. So this is
okay.
A real break.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the Ethan Page thing.
Let's talk about that after I take a pee.
Is that all you're going to do?
I'm just going to pee. Just
Thank
tinkle a
God.
little bit.
Hey, don't take that Alyssa Milano poster in there with you again.
I never took it in there.
Or the Hulk Hogan one.
Okay. All right, I'm back from peeing.
Okay, that was a really long time.
Thank you. Well,
strong stream you got there.
Okay, were you listening?
I was outside the door.
Okay.
I had a cup to the door, like anyway. I was going to tell you this Ethan Page match, him winning the championship was excellently done. Here's what I thought. So they show him arriving at the arena, and he's wearing a Canadian tuxedo.
Okay.
And you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay, so he's walking in with his bags. Those of you who don't know, it's all denim. And as he was walking in the backstage area, he walks by a banner that says, "We the North." And he smiles. And I immediately go, oh my gosh, he's winning the title tonight with help from Josh Alexander. That's why I think I text you.
You did text
Josh
me.
Alexander? ?
Yes.
We know by now that didn't happen.
Sure.
But he still won the championship.
Well, I did see that Josh was backstage at Money in the Bank this weekend.
Really?
Just hanging out.
He needs to be.
I mean, there was that TNA connection, and
Yep.
dude, like, so we kind of
It may have been a blessing in disguise when he re-signed his contract, because he did so reluctantly.
Yeah.
As we heard. But if they have this connection with WWE,
Well,
I can't imagine them not wanting a guy like Josh Alexander on the roster.
There are a lot of good guys in TNA, and I
Yeah.
think if they're really just using it as like an outside developmental of sorts, I think that's a great idea. And like, listen, there's no development needed for Josh Alexander. He's been one of, if not the best in the world for a long time.
What about on promos?
His promos are great. His
Okay.
promos have been great for a while too. It's one of those things.
Because I know I used to bury him about that when he was shitty to me. The only time he was ever shitty to me.
Yeah.
He buried me like, why do you want these promos so bad?
Yeah.
Nobody watches them. Nobody cares about promos. This is called wrestling.
Yeah.
This isn't called talking. I was like, okay, dude.
Yeah. Well, no, his promos are great. And
When are we going to Cedar Point? You promised.
Wait, what?
That was the whole thing. Like me, him, Veda, Ethan Page, we're all supposed to go to Cedar Point because they had heard so much about it. Being
And you
from
let him
Canada.
down.
I never took him.
You're a real piece of shit.
I know. That's why I'm where I'm at, and he's where he is.
Yep.
Backstage at Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm. What else was I say? I don't know. Should we talk about John Cena? We've been talking for longer than we usually have.
Yeah, let's
been on
get
the
into
show.
a little Cena.
So, surprise at Money in the Bank this past weekend, John Cena came out and
Of the closet.
No,
But it would be okay if he did.
it's fine. He can, but he came out and he opened a towel.
Oh, yeah. I
He
like where
opened
this is
He
going.
opened his towel. He was
Hello,
clothed.
ladies.
He was wearing his jorts as usual, and he rolled down his towel, and it said, "The last time is now." And I was watching the show with friends,
And you were crying.
and I immediately go, "Oh no, John, John, no!" And so the whole time he's cutting his promo, I'm just going, "John, no, no, John!" And then to the point where my friends were like, "Can you please shut the fuck up so we hear what we say?" But
I like how he said, I came here to retire in this town because you guys have been so great to me all through the years into WWE, and I just want to announce that I'm going to retire in 2026.
well, technically 2025, and he made it
whatever.
seem like
He was retiring right then.
to me it was like, okay, well, he's not retiring right now, but I think the idea was, even when WWE was kind of sucky through the 2000s, Toronto was always a hot crowd, right?
Yep.
And so that was a good place for him to have the speech. And, he could have referenced it, but he didn't. He did win one of his 16 WWE championships in Toronto.
Yeah.
He beat Edge in that, probably one of the better TLC matches, especially when you
Well, that
consider
was-
one-on-one TLC matches.
That was back in the days when you would get buried in your hometown.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Edge was from Toronto.
Yeah. Well, that's
so
the
of
way
course he was going to lose the title, and that's how I knew a couple weeks ago the DIY was going to win the championships, because I knew in 2 weeks they were going to be in Toronto for SmackDown. And I go, oh well, they're winning the belts.
Yeah.
That's their home, their second home.
Yes. Well, it was so the way they did it in 2006 with Cena and Edge was Cena and Edge wrestled at SummerSlam. Cena. They're in Boston for SummerSlam. So Edge beat Cena. Then the next month at Unforgiven, they were in Toronto. Cena won his title back in Toronto. So, yeah, that's the way that works. But
what city is Cena from again?
West Newbury.
Which is by?
Boston.
Thank you.
Yes. But so he cuts his promo basically saying that like he's going to have his final matches in 2025. And he made it sound like in the actual promo that we're going to get him until WrestleMania. But then if you watch the press conference, we find out that he's agreed to something around 40 dates. Now, that doesn't mean 40 matches necessarily, but he'll be wrestling until the end of 2025. And he made it sound like he's going to be there for the Netflix debut, which leads me to believe that we're probably going to have a John Cena match on the debut show on Netflix. I think that'd be the smartest business decision. You're probably going to really, really stack this card for the first Netflix show. And, I have mixed feelings about this. I like that he's going out on his own terms. But I do like that it's a whole tour, kind of like what they did with Sting and, not WWE, but AEW, and kind of like they usually do in Japan. You know, they don't just have the one match. And I think this gives multiple cities throughout the next, once we get to the year 2025, 365 days to see and experience John Cena for one last time. And, he's going to be 48 in April of next year. Whew. And he's getting up there. He's not, in the last few matches he's had, it's been very basic John Cena, but, he's still in great shape. He's still, his matches have never been incredible, but...
Dude, there have been more incredible John Cena matches than a lot of people even realize.
I'm not saying that he hasn't had incredible matches. He's very basic, but the storytelling has been, in a lot of cases, second to none, right?
Yeah.
And especially, I think, things really started to change for John when he had that 2015 U.S. title run, because he was working with guys that forced him to... I don't even know if they forced him. I think, he knew how talented these guys were, so he was like, hey... What if can I try this? Can I try a Code Red? Can I try a Springboard Stunner?
He was working with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and all those guys were just coming up to the roster. It was a cool thing, man.
Yeah. And so, I'm sure we'll do some reminiscing as we book this. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to spitball with you, what the final year with John Cena is going to look like, because I think there's opportunities for brand new matches. I think we can rekindle some old feuds, finish the story, if you will, on some of those old rivalries. And I think, and John seems pretty serious about calling it quits once 2025 is over, we have a lot of potential to do the one thing that we couldn't do with the Ric Flair retirement and actually retire and have it be good.
You don't think that John will then go to TNA?
I cannot foresee that.
When I first booked when you said, hey, let's book John's retirement tour.
Yeah.
I had him going to TNA.
Oh, wait. Oh, there's a connection. Yeah. I thought you meant he retires in WWE and then a year later shows up in TNA.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said that.
Oh,
but
okay.
no,
Right.
I was just saying that, when you first had told me we were going to do that, I was like, I'd put him down to TNA for a bit just to, and then I had an idea to go with it.
Yeah.
I scrapped that whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So some people are saying, here's the easiest story. At some point, we have to have John going for his 17th title, right? I mean,
Yes.
I think you have to, right?
He has to. I think we're in this mode where people are getting records broken.
Yeah.
So John Cena is probably the cleanest top wrestler. When I say clean, I mean as he's had barely any controversy surrounding his name.
Yeah.
In all of this time. So, like, if you say he's the greatest champion of all time, then you can do that without the negative stories coming up like Ric Flair.
And that's exactly my mindset with it. It's like, for a long time, I think people were like, well, we don't want to break 16 because that's Flair's WWE record.
Time to move on.
I think for sure, especially with the way Ric Flair axed the last 5 years, I would say,
or the last 35
well,
years.
but like it's seemingly getting worse with age somehow. I think it's better for your company to say the most celebrated and the most reigns as champion goes to John Cena, a guy who has been on top, I think, mathematically, if you talk about his main event run, more than anybody else, more than if you combine Hogan, Austin, Rock, their initial run as main eventers. Let's see, what Hogan for WWF would have been 84 to 93, right?
So you get 9 years.
So 9 years. Austin,
5 years.
You can say 98 to 2003. Yeah. Rock, about the same, 98 to 2003.
So we're like at 19 years.
Yeah, so like that's about as long as John Cena. Like Cena starts main eventing things in 2003, the end of 2003, really, but he doesn't become champion until 2005, so I guess we could start there. 2005, his last title run was 2017, and I think that's pretty much when he started leaving for long periods of time there. So what is that? That's a good 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there's so many there's so many potential matches that we could redo, but before we do the matches that we need to come back to, is there any potential for any dream matches left with John Cena? Whether it be some young guy on the roster, somebody that he hasn't wrestled ever that's been on the roster, or someone that we could bring back?
Well, look, if I'm booking his farewell tour, Braun Breaker has to be involved. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu.
Well, we've seen the solo match. Solo's
but I mean, we need to see it again because, he's at a different level now.
Sure, yep.
And he squashed John last time.
He did.
I need to see him against Randy Orton one more time.
I think so. Some people are clamoring for that at WrestleMania, but I don't know if I want to see.
I'm not there at that. I would like to see him also team with Randy Orton. There's guys I want to see him team with before he goes.
I agree.
I would love to see him and Rey Mysterio again.
That'd be great.
I'm not interested in anything with Edge, although I would have been had Edge remained in WWE.
Yeah.
I just that's gone. Everything with Edge is just kind of flatlined for me.
I don't think we're obviously probably not going to see a match, but I think by the time we get to December for his farewell, before he leaves, we got to book some sort of interaction on his way out with Kurt Angle. That's the way he came in. I think that's the way he's got to leave,
Angle,
right?
for sure.
You got to do something there. So a nice little bookend there. I don't think when we talk about this potential 17th title reign, I don't know if it comes till later in the year. I don't foresee him winning the Royal Rumble. Not necessary. I don't foresee him winning Elimination Chamber. Not necessary. However, if you think about it, one thing that he's never done and never even participated in that I think you could do because it could set him up for SummerSlam next year. Maybe we can have Cena win King of the Ring because they made it mean more this past year. I have no problem with Cena winning King of the Ring if he gets a title shot at SummerSlam. It's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, my mind is open to anything right now. I really see the money being in a feud with the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Cena against Finn Balor. John Cena with Damian Priest. Now, this is going to be after.
Yeah, because Damian Priest ain't going to be in Judgment Day much longer.
No, So you get John and Damian fighting the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
But I think John has to end it against Dominic Mysterio.
You think so?
Yeah.
That could be
Dude,
great.
Here's also the thing. I've been saying I need Drew McIntyre to win the championship because of Judgment Day. So if Drew McIntyre is part of Judgment Day, I end it with, I go into the home stretch with John defeating Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship.
I would love that actually. Now that you say that,
Yeah.
Like if you told me that next year SummerSlam we do a Drew McIntyre John Cena match, I'm on board.
Because we have Punk too, so Punk could be on Team Cena. Punk, Cena, Damian Priest, to go against these Judgment Day fellas, and maybe Rey Mysterio, because his big beginning was Rey, him, and Edge, right?
Yes.
So if you ended with him and Rey together. Also, I wanted to say this. This is what was missing from the retirement speech.
Go ahead.
I wanted John to come out and announce it was for the last time, and then all of a sudden you hear, somebody go and get their ass whipped. Somebody go and get a wig split.
Yeah.
Some shit like that, whatever it is. And Mark Henry come out and go, no, hey, man, I did this already. You ain't going to fool nobody.
Yeah, right.
And then they end up shaking hands and hugging or whatever, and it's a feel-good moment.
That would have been
It could still happen down the way because I think Mark Henry's out of his AEW contract.
Yep,
okay,
he's
so
available.
I would love for just everything that's happened with Cena throughout.
Punk alluded to it in the press conference. He said he wanted one more match with Cena. My immediate reaction is like, well, shit. I would love to see Cena and Punk at WrestleMania. However, and we'll talk about it in depth over on Patreon. Something I didn't think about. I figured that the Drew McIntyre screw job was going to happen with the cash-in.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about, because I'm so invested in Drew and Punk. I forgot all about Punk and Seth.
Yeah.
And the fact that they tied that both together makes me believe that we're still going to get Seth and Punk this next WrestleMania. So I think that leaves Punk tied up. However, for nostalgia purposes, listen, why can't we come back to Money in the Bank next July and do Punk and Cena? Probably their best match out of all their matches. Definitely their most memorable match was at Money in the Bank in 2011. So let's do that. Let's run it back in 2025. You know what I mean? Like if somehow they can go back to Chicago for that, ooh, just fucking print money. No pun intended, right? Like, I think they're gonna make a lot of money on this final tour with John Cena. You could do a fucking John Cena shirt for every town that he goes to. A farewell John Cena shirt. Jeez, we got to do AJ and John again, right? Because AJ's still going to be around.
He retired.
He's not retired. He's fine.
You think he's going to TNA?
I would like him to show up in TNA.
Yeah,
He's not going to TNA.
I know, but I would love to see like a 3-month or 6-month run from AJ in TNA.
I would love to see Cena go down to NXT at some point.
Yep.
I know he did that for that one episode,
yep.
but I'd like to see him work
he
a
needs
match.
to wrestle. Yeah, one of those guys.
Yeah.
I would like to see him and Trick Williams have a match.
Him and Trick, him and Ethan Page now. Yes, I don't.
Oh, we got to have him and Johnny Gargano in a battle of the Johns.
Wow, I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe he passes the torch and he's like, "You are the only John now in WWE," and then he gives him a salute, right?
Yeah. And then Johnny kicks him in the balls.
No, he wouldn't do
Puts
that.
him in the Hearthstone.
No.
Cusses at him.
No. I think we do see Cena in his final Rumble, though. I don't think he wins it. I think we put him in one last chamber. Again, I don't think he wins it.
I think it comes down to Cena. Maybe
sure.
Cena and Braun Breaker or something like that.
For sure. Yeah, let's do that.
I need Cena and Gunther, although I'm a little worried about that.
Dude, 100% need Cena and Gunther. That, I would say, of any like modern dream match, as far as like, here's like an ultimate bad guy and here's an ultimate good guy, give me Gunther and Cena all day
But you also get with that is Cena and Ludwig Kaiser. Because if you're going to get Gunther, there's got to be someone before him.
Yeah.
And Kaiser, man, would be for. I like Kaiser a lot. I'd like to see John Cena and Sheamus in one last tables match. Where John just launches himself off the top rope.
Yeah, okay. He gets his redemption. I did go to Patreon and I went to social media to kind of get some input from other people about how they would book John Cena or things that they would like to see out of him in his last match. And Patreon subscribers get first dibs, so I just want to answer some of theirs. And I got one from Uncle Bobby who says, John ushers in the new Attitude Era by reverting to his gangsta persona. The AA becomes the FU again. He starts a faction called Cena You Next Time. They run a program where Cena goes on dates with other wrestlers' mothers to get heat, but he acts like Date Mike from The Office. Okay, this is, all right, come on, Uncle Bobby, you son of a bitch. We obviously have to have him go back to Word life John Cena at some point, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was so good then. If he revisits it now, I just don't think it's going to be that good.
I would say it'd be a one-off.
You want just something basic, a one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna have a 3-month run.
Is that how they kick off Netflix?
I don't know if we need to kick off Netflix with the basic thugonomics, right? Like it's just be the John Cena now. But at some point, is there someone on the roster that could bring out that basic thugonomics John Cena? A reason for him to do the raps?
Yeah.
Who is that?
I can't think of him right now, but I know he's out there somewhere.
Okay.
So yeah.
What if here's a dream match? By 2025, a lot of things can change, and they teased him at the end of NXT. Could we have a concert battle, much like we did with Rock and Cena, between John Cena and one Joe Hendry?
Oh yeah.
Hey, listen, I listened to an interview with Joe Hendry with Chris Van Vliet, and Cena was actually one of the guys that influenced him, and he told a great story. Did you watch this interview?
No.
So briefly, I'll tell you. He told me that one of the first times Cena came overseas.
Wait, he told you, or he said it in this interview?
Well, in the interview, my bad. He told me directly.
He was on the show, and I wasn't?
I felt like I was talking to him.
Okay.
And he says that, he was like 14 or 15. He wanted to go to this meet and greet to meet John Cena, but his friend, he couldn't afford to go. His friend went. All of a sudden, he gets a phone call, and it's John Cena.
Yeah.
So his friend is at this meet and greet and tells John that my buddy Joe wanted to come, but he couldn't afford. Could you talk to him on the phone? Which, what a fucking amazing friend, right?
Yeah.
And I guess John Cena talked to him on the phone for like 10 minutes, and like Joe Hendry, being the Mark fan that he was like pitching all these ideas for his character and blah, 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 all this shit. So I think right there, that in itself is like a built-in story. On top of the fact that Joe playing the acoustic guitar and John being Thugonomics John Cena, dude, just fucking take my money right now.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Joe Hendry.
We could get Cena and Rock again.
We could 100%. And like, listen, Rock's got some gripe, right?
Yeah.
He's got a whole gripe with the bloodline, to be fair. Like, he ran interference in that match at WrestleMania to help Cody get the championship. Listen, we've already done it a couple times, but now it's like next level. Roman and Cena, with Roman being such an ultimate babyface now, and Cena being the all-time ultimate babyface, at some point, and again, I've been hearing pitches for WrestleMania, but I don't know if it needs to be. There are so many big matches that you could do with this next WrestleMania that, again, much like we've been talking about, there's not really a wrong answer.
Rock and Solo against Cena and Roman? Oh, man. I would love that. And what if that's the theme from now on? Night one ends in a huge tag match, which has implications on the next night's event, which is Roman versus Rock.
I don't know if you could do that every year, but I mean, you could definitely.
That's just a thing.
Yeah, like you could definitely tie both nights together. I'm surprised they didn't do that earlier than this past year, honestly. But I do think there's potential at some point for a passing of the torch between Cody and Cena, right?
They got a team.
They have to team for sure, but I also wouldn't mind to see them wrestle. And some people on the internet were like, "Oh, I'd love to see them wrestle WrestleMania this year." That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
that doesn't fit into the story, right? But like that is a big match scenario for maybe a SummerSlam. Though I love the Drew McIntyre idea. Like Drew, I've never been more interested in Drew McIntyre since like he's been this tweener, right? This guy who everything he says it's true, but you kind of hate that he's fucking saying it, but also you love CM Punk much more, and that just makes him that much more hateable, right? Yeah. It's all so great. It's a great time to be a fan. Dude, I want to see John Cena and Jey Uso. We've seen it before, but not this Jey Uso.
Yeah, maybe that could be when
I want to see.
Raps.
I want to see. Yes, I want to see John Cena.
But not that they're against each other. Maybe it's those two together against two other guys.
Yeah.
And they're yeet, and all of a sudden Cena comes out and he's word life, and it's like.
It's crazy that I want to see him like face versus babyface because like these characters have been built up so well over the last couple of years that it's like I just want to have fun and get lost in the entertainment of it all.
That's
right?
what we do with AEW.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry.
Do we do that? Who does that exactly?
There's people on the internet that Tony Khan pays.
Okay. Dean Chard for Patreon says, bring back the NWO with him as the leader. Braun, Hayes, Cena, maybe they take on Legacy. So he's saying Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and John Cena versus Cody, Randy, and Ted DiBiase. So here's the thing, Dean. I don't know if you know this, but Ted DiBiase Jr. in a little bit of legal hiccup. So perhaps
maybe he means that other Legacy guy.
Manu?
Yeah, Manu. And then that guy transitions to the Bloodline.
Sim Snuka, maybe?
Also a Bloodline member.
Maybe, this is possible if they want to do this, we could see John Cena, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker versus Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase Sr. Maybe he could sub for his son who's going to be in prison. What do you think of that?
I like that idea a lot more than you do.
Here's the
I
thing,
can
though,
tell.
too. I don't think we're going to get John Cena as a heel. I think
I'd
that
love to
ship is
see
sail.
No, and I would love to see John Cena versus Nia Jax. No?
No.
You think he gets her up for that AA? I love it.
Well, actually, that is a cool visual.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so let's switch it then. Bronson Reed. That is such just a raw match, but the impressive thing is a near 50-year-old man is picking up the 400-pounder.
You're using Bronson Reed made me think of Otis, and then maybe go back to we can't.
Oh my God!
Dude, yeah,
and
you
then
know what?
Kurt Angle comes in with Chad Gable, and
Kurt Angle doesn't need to be with Chad Gable, but that's as close as we're to get to Kurt Angle is Chad Gable. So we got to do Chad Gable and fucking John Cena, right?
Yeah,
that's got to happen at some point. I'm not looking at a roster. I feel like I should be.
Yeah,
I feel like we have to have a sweet Survivor Series style match. We're obviously going to do War Games because we do that every year now.
Yeah.
But I think as a throwback, if we don't put John Cena in War Games, which is something he never did, which I'm okay with, whatever the case, if we put him in a standard 4 or 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, I'm down with that. Let's
because then you get the chance where he can team with these guys that we want to see him team with and wrestle against.
You can have an ultimate dude. We basically got a preview of it at WrestleMania. It's what is your realistic Avengers Survivor Series team, right? I think in this scenario, you want to do let's just say. Again, we're not picturing War Games, just a standard Survivor Series match. Cena, Cody, for sure. I think with the way it's been booked, Jey Uso's in there. Maybe Jey is substitute
He's
with
in that
Roman.
Bloodline match.
Well, let's say we're doing that this year.
Okay.
We're doing that this year. Right?
Oh, okay. I thought you were
talking
next
year.
Okay.
So maybe it's Cena, Roman, Cody. Those are the three biggest baby faces for sure. Punk. Who's the last one? How do you make the Ultimate Survivor Series team? Who's the last person?
Dude, I know I was joking earlier, but I would love to see Cena and DIY. Because they are ultimate baby faces right now.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that.
They're definitely white meat baby faces.
Yeah.
Except Tommaso hinted at a heel turn one time when he wouldn't shake R-Truth's hand.
Sure.
And then they just let that go.
And again, it's Johnny's wife has been very questionable in her actions over the past few months.
Well, she's a legend. She can do what she wants.
She is a WWE legend. We talked about that on the Patreon. But outside of that, yeah, I would love to see John Cena team with the tag team championships, the modern day DX, if you will. So, yeah.
Gosh. Oh, no. We need Cena and Miz and R-Truth to have a six-man.
We do.
Because there was so much feuding that went on between them all before with The Rock.
Yeah.
And that.
If you had to book his final match, it sounds like he's going to go all the way out to December, okay?
Yeah.
Where is his final match? And who is it against? Because in my head, I feel like, I don't know. What is the December pay-per-view now? I don't know if it ends on pay-per-view.
December to dismember.
It's not December to dismember, dickhead.
It's going to be a revive of the ECW brand. No?
But
Okay.
does it end on a pay-per-view, or do you do it for a big like final Raw of 2025 Netflix deal, right? Like, is it something like that? And who is it against? There's so many good answers to end John Cena's career. And then I guess my other thing is, like, we can take a second to think about who the last match is with, but I think the only logical thing to do after is to do the Ric Flair send-off, maybe in 2026, right, to start out the first Raw of 2026. And again, we do this the right way. John will never wrestle again. You know, give him a fucking 30, 45-minute segment on the start of Raw. Have him say goodbye. Say hello and goodbye to some old friends, and give a little speech and go on his merry way. But who's the last match with? Is it with the final boss?
No.
No?
Maybe.
Does he
No.
put someone over? Does he put some young guy on the way out?
I mean, the obvious answer would be Braun Breaker.
I think so, but
But
again,
I think that's if I'm booking by the numbers.
sure.
You know,
I mean,
paint by numbers.
Let's see how the rest of 2024 shakes out. We have a whole year and a half to see where Braun Breaker's at to decide whether or not that's a thing we want to do.
It might be Chad Gable.
You think?
It might be. I mean, he's good enough. You need somebody that's going to, when they beat Cena, they can carry that on forever. Not like when Cena wrestled Austin Theory, and Cena was already alluding to in promos beforehand. It's what you do after I'm gone.
Yeah.
And Theory did nothing.
But do you think, like, because while I think Chad Gable and John Cena would be a good match,
I swear I wanted it Dom.
well, here's my thing. On the marquee,
Uh-huh.
towards the end of the John Cena thing, I think you need to create a questionable ending. Like Chad Gable makes sense if you're talking like, well, he came in with Kurt. He's got to go out in that style, right? Dom makes sense because Dom gets heat, right? But on the marquee, like, if you see John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio, I don't
Today
think
we're not saying that, but
sure.
you know, down there, because there's somebody probably that we haven't even discussed.
Yeah.
Because this keeps happening. No way you would have told me 2 years ago or a year ago that Drew McIntyre was going to be my favorite WWE superstar and was going to be the most compelling.
Sure.
Also, that Otis was going to be one of my favorite baby faces.
Yeah.
You know? With this new Paul Levesque era, the door is wide open. There's somebody young and hungry that's going to come in. I don't see it, but it could be that Carmelo dude.
I think they could definitely have a match together.
Yeah, I mean, and if he catches on, he could be the one at the end.
Aaron Blanchett said that at some point facing Uncle Howdy is a must. It would be a nice callback to the storylines with Bray.
I would rather forget that.
Well, I liked the initial storyline going into WrestleMania 30. I did not like that Cena won that match. And I like the Firefly Funhouse. I think it was the best case scenario during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the Uncle Howdy thing, but I'd like to see how it shakes up over the next 6 months before I talk about booking Uncle Howdy and John Cena in 2025, because it could be a flop. I don't know.
I mean, if his name's Bo Dallas, yeah, but I can't see, when you talk about marquee,
Sure.
I can't see John Cena versus a dude named Uncle Howdy.
Well, yeah. Carl Arnold says if he has to be around, I'd have every young guy I was looking to push work a short program with him, and they all go over in the end. I don't know if they all go over.
Yeah, I can't do that, and I don't even know that John Cena loses his final match. I don't care about that as much.
Yeah. I think it depends on the story. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Let's see. Carl says, then again, I can't stand him as a wrestler. Well, sometimes, you don't necessarily have to go over to get over. Depends on how you lose.
What about Big Dave?
Oh. Well,
I think he's done with wrestling, but
yeah.
that was a memorable feud, him and Batista during that time.
I wouldn't be opposed to some Batista and John Cena. If I had to say 4 guys that are like on the Mount Rushmore of John Cena opponents, I would say Batista.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Edge. I would say
Randy.
Punk and Randy. I think
Okay,
that's
you
what I'm
got
going.
Punk. I don't have Punk in mind.
No?
No.
Whoa.
I almost want to put Big Show up there.
Really?
Because that's who first, John, when he first got over. And then he put Big Show, he gave him the FU
Yeah,
for
WrestleMania 20.
for the U.S. title, and that launched him. So it's almost like, and they've gone back to Show and Cena a bunch of times. And then, but I saw a Show in AEW, and I don't want to see him in the ring again.
Yeah.
So also, maybe no on that one. I liked, there's another feud that Cena had that I can't think of right now. It's too hard to think of things.
Jason Taylor says have him job out and put
Taker.
all the next generation top talents over. We're not going to see Taker.
No, but I'm just saying if you're talking about that Mount Rushmore, Taker might be up there because I remember.
Really?
I thought he rapped on Taker, and that was the first time I noticed his rapping.
Yeah,
so his character had.
But I wouldn't say as far as who's the guys
Greatest
that you
feud.
feud. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that match, I know what match you're talking about, Vengeance 2003.
Of course, what song did Undertaker come out to in that one?
He at the time he was coming out to his Always Kicking Assholes Asses song.
Yeah.
That's not important. What is important?
Was that the country music type song? The
Bad asses. Always kicking assholes ass, which is very redundant. Yeah, that match I think is very underrated, especially for a young John Cena in 2003. Yep. But we never got the true WrestleMania match we should have. That match fucking sucked. Yeah. When Undertaker squashed him out in 2 minutes after Cena was sitting in the crowd.
Drinking a beer. Yeah.
Well,
it's me. I'm going to wrestle.
Yeah. Here's a suggestion from Joshua Balsinger, Balis.
Yeah, Joshua Incredible. He's not excellent. He's incredible.
Sigger? Yeah. I don't know. I said it wrong. Have him feud with the IC champion and eventually win it in his retirement match. That way he can be a Grand Slam champion. It's the one thing he hasn't achieved in his WWE career, and if done right, it could add to the legacy of the IC championship and elevate his opponent. I guess I would be opposed to him winning the Intercontinental Champion. I don't know if I would end on that note.
I need to see him tie up loose ends, and this goes back to my Judgment Day thing with Carlito. He needs to find that bodyguard that stabbed him in the nightclub. Well, Aaron something.
It was Jesus.
Okay, but his real name was Aaron.
Aaron
Aguilera. Yeah. So he needs to get him.
But he did get him.
Oh, did he?
He wrestled him in one match on pay-per-view. It was Armageddon 2004.
What song did he come out to? Word Life, This Is Thugonomics?
I think he actually came out to Carlito's song. He didn't have his own song.
No, I mean John Cena.
John Cena came out to his Thugonomics theme.
Yeah.
He didn't start using the My Time Is Now theme until, I believe, could be wrong here, but I'm probably not, No Way Out 2005, around that time period.
Hey, I got to mention this. So this is big news.
How pathetic I am?
No, but you are. But this is big news that John Cena is retiring because the topic at work today amongst people who are not wrestling fans said, hey, I got online this morning and a headline on New York Daily News was John Cena's retiring. Hey, why does my subscription to People have John Cena retiring as the headline? And on my way into work on the radio program I was listening to, being an old man, I love the trivia. The trivia question of the day was, John Cena is retiring. What was the one rap album he put out called? I'm going to ask you this. You tell me.
Wasn't it You Can't See Me?
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
I said it was My Time Is Now.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah, it's called You Can't See Me.
I get all the other ones right.
Yeah.
I got the wrestling question.
Yeah. What a piece of shit you are.
Yeah. Hey, also, before we close up on the John Cena stuff, we got a couple good stories to talk about Cena. So, but let's finish this, and then I'll go into some good stories.
Well, let's just finish it like this. What's the final match? Who are you putting him up against to end it all? Look, here's what we need to see. Let's just make this clear. We need him a Braun Breaker. We need him a super team of some sorts, maybe at Survivor Series. We need to see some random teamings with big baby faces in general, like Jey Uso and Roman Reigns and Cody. I need to see him versus fucking LA Knight, Drew McIntyre. I need to see some callbacks with Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins,
Sami Zayn.
CM Punk, Sami
Is that the
Zayn.
match where Sami Zayn threw out his shoulder?
Yeah, it was his first match
Yeah.
on Raw.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he fucked himself up, and he went through the whole match.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah, it was your
come on.
chance. And then he was flawless in that match. You could barely tell that anything was wrong with him.
Yeah.
Except when they replayed him throwing his arm in the air.
Right, yeah. I need to see him and AJ again.
Yeah.
Him and AJ had great matches in 2016 and
Yeah.
2017. Him and Roman.
I hated the feud, though. Oh, you're the face that built the place? Well, I'm the man that runs the camp, or whatever.
Yeah, oh,
the
yeah.
champ that runs the camp.
Yeah, well, because also when AJ started saying that he was the guy who built SmackDown Live, I'm like, when?
20 years after it was already
Yeah,
a
like what
program.
are you talking about? But all right, it's all you. Last match. Who is it?
I'm going to still go with Dominic Mysterio. Because I think he's just going to be elevated by that point. I think all the stuff he's doing on Judgment Day and with Liv and everything, he's getting bigger physically. We can see it. He's maturing as a wrestler. He's never had a botch that I've seen on TV or anything, on pay-per-view, nothing. He's always smooth in the ring. I'm very impressed with Dominic. I'm giving it to Dominic.
Ryan Egan's not going to like that answer. And
No, because he wants...
Well, I think
he wants Goldberg to
I was
come
going to
back.
say Goldberg. Yeah, John Cena versus Goldberg is
Or
what he
Braun
wants.
Strowman.
But I'm going to throw something out there that you're probably not expecting. I think end of 2025, enough time will have passed. I think we see John Cena go out. I'm going to say victorious by defeating a recently returning Brock Lesnar, because I think enough time will have passed,
Yeah.
as long as nothing else is implicated onto Brock. I think that they will try to bring him back, and I could see them doing Brock and Cena, because, and look, here's a story for you too. Not that Cena would rub it in Brock's face, but if you think about it, let's think about this. Brock Lesnar benefited, or I'm sorry, John Cena benefited the most when Brock Lesnar left in 2004. Not to say that they weren't going to push Cena eventually, but Brock was the guy. Brock left to go to the NFL and try that. They had to try to make some other guys.
Yeah.
Hard to say if Cena would have got pushed as hard as he did if Brock would have stuck around. And that could be some part of the story, too.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they really played into that when they did their thing in 2012 upon Brock's return. I think there's something to that.
Yeah, there is. But there's also something to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There is also something to Stone Cold.
We
Steve
never
Austin.
got an Austin Cena
But-
match, did we?
Listen, I don't think they could pay Steve enough money to...
He wrestled Kevin Owens.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Somehow they couldn't pay Steve enough money to, march down to the ring and deliver a stunner for WrestleMania 40. I don't know anything, but that was clearly Austin's spot at WrestleMania 40. I'm sure they're paying Cena a lot of money to do 40 dates. How much money would it take to get Stone Cold to come out of retirement? And also, listen, that's not ending 2025.
Yeah.
I feel like you only do that at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If you do that anywhere else, you're fucking insane, right? Like,
Maybe King of the Ring qualifier?
John Cena, I'll see your ass at Saudi Arabia, son of a bitch. That's not, I can't even imagine that. But, all right, well, what do you guys think? What do you think should be the final match of John Cena? How would you book this? What did we say that you like, that you dislike, that you'd alter a little bit? Should John Cena win the Intercontinental title? Should John Cena get 17 title reigns? Let us know in the comments below wherever you're listening to this, especially on Patreon. We want some more interaction over there. You guys are paying us. I want to interact with you guys more. I want your opinions. I value them. Aaron, you had a John Cena story you wanted to share.
I have a couple. I think I've told the one before where I worked where I work with people with developmental disabilities. There was a girl who hadn't spoke to me in the first 3 years that I worked there. She only spoke to me when John Cena forced Kevin Owens to tap out. The next day at work, I came in because she always is dressed in full "you can't see me" gear, and she would do the "you can't see me" hand over the face thing every time I saw her, but never spoke a word. And then finally she come up to me and she said, "Kevin tapped out." And I was like, "Whoa, you talk? And why didn't you talk before?" She said, "I never had anything important to say." But that was so important to her that John Cena made Kevin Owens tap out. So I contacted...
Hold on. What an incredible response, though. And, like, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what a profound impact wrestling can make on people. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Like this is, like, it wasn't even said, like, in a joking way. Like, that was said by her with so much meaning.
Yeah.
Kevin tapped out.
Yeah.
Why haven't you ever said anything?
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't Kevin tapped out. It was Tap Owens Tap.
There you go.
Because that was the thing everybody was chanting.
But regardless,
Yeah.
like, I never had anything important to say.
Yeah.
Until that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And she could not wait to get to work the next day so she could speak her first words.
Yeah, that's powerful. Man.
Yeah. And so I knew that knowing Kevin Owens, since we worked with him in AIW, well, I worked with him in AIW. You probably worked with him in other places too. But I wanted to make sure that message got to him because Kevin Owens was such a good dude. You know, he was getting me NXT tickets and friends with Johnny and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted the message to get to Kevin Owens. I didn't have his number. I text John Thorne. I wrote out a whole thing, the whole story, word for word, sent it to Thorne. Thorne forwarded it to Owens. Owens happened to be on a plane sitting next to John Cena going over their match for later that night at a house show. And Kevin showed the text message to John. John asked for the text message to be forwarded to him, which was, and then he sent a reply, which this was probably 10 phones ago, so I don't have it anymore. But the message said, "This is why I do what I do, more than the money, more than the fame. It's moments like this that make me know that everything I do, putting my body on the line, whatever, is all worth it." And he said, "What's the address that I can send this to? And what's your name that I can address it to?" And her name as well. So I sent back that information, and John asked for a picture. And so I took a picture of her and I sent it. He apparently used it as his screensaver on his phone or his background on his phone for a while. He had sent that back in a message and sent hundreds of dollars worth of signed merch within a day. I mean, it was overnighted from wherever. And, yeah, it's probably in the warehouse or something, but there's so much merch that she got. I have a YouTube video of it, but I had to make it private because of privacy reasons with the clients. I'm going to see if I can get the okay, and I'll send it to you so you can upload it for Patreon. Is that cool? All right, and then the second story I had was a buddy of mine. His cousin worked at, like, the Texas Roadhouse or a Longhorn Steakhouse or one of those places, and the WWE had just concluded a show. And it was, I believe, 11 o'clock, which is when they closed. John Cena walked through the door there in Elyria, Ohio, said, "Hey." He talked to the bartender. Now, she recorded all this. I've seen the video. As soon as she saw it was John Cena walking in, she was smart enough to hit record on her phone and just leave it sitting there. And John Cena walks up to the bar. He sits down and he says, "Hey, I know it's late. I know you know who I am. And I need steak and beer.
Priorities.
And you will be compensated for anything you guys do. You'll be taken care of. I just need a big steak and a beer. If you got to turn the grills back on, whatever, it's going to be worth your while."
Yeah.
So she says she has to talk to the manager. She comes back. John says, "I'll talk to the manager myself if you need me to." whatever happened. I think the manager came out, shook John's hand, and then he said, "We're firing the grills back up now. They were cooling down, so it's going to take an extra couple minutes." John said, "I don't care. I need a big steak, and I need a cold beer." And he got the biggest cold beer in a mug that they had, and one of them frosted mugs, and it almost makes me want to drink a beer again because thinking how good that was. And then the steak. So he got the largest steak that they had. They brought it out to him. It was cooked to perfection, and everybody there received a very, very handsome tip.
I believe it.
And he took care of everybody just like he said he would, and it was worth everybody's while. And he got his steak and he got his beer. John Cena, I know good stories about John Cena. Some people have some shit to say about him. I have nothing bad to say about John Cena.
I heard he also tipped that waitress $1,000 to tell the manager to kiss her ass.
No. That's a different 16-time world champion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes I get him confused. Listen, at the end of the day, love him or hate him, John Cena, the human, I think is an amazing person. The fact that just to tell people that this dude has a record for Make-A-Wishes at like 650 is incredible, and the only person close to him has like less than 200. That says something about who John Cena is as a person, and I feel like he had a lot of yay boo happening his whole career, but I think over the past few years, time makes the heart grow a little bit fonder. You don't know what you have until it's gone. And I think as John Cena's been taking these extended leaves of absences and returning, I think we've grown to appreciate him that much more. There's so many great John Cena moments. I'm sure we've done a whole podcast about it. I'm sure we'll do a whole podcast about it again when we reflect, when this journey is over in 2025. But for now...
We didn't even talk about his run as Juan Cena in Mexico.
That did happen for 2 shows. Do you remember why he was Juan Cena?
No.
It was because it was during that Nexus storyline where he was, if he didn't help Wade Barrett win the title against Randy Orton, then he was fired.
Yes.
So he didn't miss any Raws, by the way. The next night, he still showed up and attacked Wade Barrett. He was attacking in the Nexus for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But during that 1 or 2 week period, he still had to make house shows.
Yeah.
So he wore a mask.
It's great.
Cena.
Yeah.
So that's why that was a thing. But we're going to wrap it up here. Hey, we've gone longer on this episode than we have on a lot of our episodes in the past few weeks because we're trying to keep it short. But hey, we're talking about John Cena, baby. But if you want extended and bonus content, go over to patreon.com/IronWrestling. $3 gets you in the door. Check it out. It's worth your time. We talk about more ridiculous stuff over there anyways. Patreon is more what Iron on Wrestling is than what you hear on the free feed. I mean, we're going to talk about hottest dudes and dudettes over on Patreon today, and we're going to do Money in the Bank, and we're going to talk about a plethora of other stuff. Patreon.com/IronWrestling. Check out all the additional tiers to get stuff in the mail from us and talk with us directly in private chats and get a follow from us on social media. Blah, 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 blah. Subscribe to us on all forms of social media. Iron on Wrestling on YouTube, especially as we continue to grow that. You can find me at Gregory Iron on X. I hardly use it, but give me a follow anyways. You'll get more interaction from me on Instagram at Gregory_Iron or on Facebook, facebook.com/TheHandicappedHero. You can message me there for pro wrestling, motivational speaking, and pro wrestling seminars. Find me on Cameo. I can give you a shout out of some sort. Or you can go to my Pro Wrestling Tees store, prowrestlingtees.com/Gregory Iron, where you can buy my shirts, Aaron shirts, Iron on Wrestling shirts. Aaron, what would you like to plug?
I'd like to plug this Patreon episode that we're going to do. I'm just real quick. I won't tell you what number he is, but Andrade is on my list of hottest male performers. And not making the list this year will be Michael Cole.
Do you think that you will consider, even though he's technically not on the roster, kissing one of Undertaker's nipples, and which one will you kiss?
Yeah,
You want to save it to Patreon?
Yes.
All right.
All right. There's a little tease for you guys, but we're going to end with a kiss right now, so pull out your nipple.
Okay, well, left or right?
I'll take the right one.
It's smaller.
I understand.
All right.